Hello there. So, Mummy and I, we're now on Tolworth Station, and we're about to travel to see the Queen lying in state. But the forecast is it will be quite a long wait. The current forecast is about 9 hours, but apparently the queue is growing all the time.
Ya, betul teman-teman ya. Kami sekarang ini berada di London dan kami akan mencoba untuk memberi respect terakhir ya, penghormatan terakhir kepada Queen kami, Ratu Elizabeth II yang sudah meninggal pada tanggal 8 September lalu. Dan menurut berita bahwa queue atau antri itu sampai 9 jam pada saat ini. Tapi kami akan determine ya untuk mengikuti dan memberi respect yang terakhir kepada Queen. Ikuti terus perjalanan kami di The Adventure of Fina and I.
See you soon. So here we are now entering the area where the queuing begins, and we're now going up and down various lines. The queue is still moving, but I can see some people on the right where the queue is stationary. So I suppose at that point they're still waiting. Well, then we'll join the queue very, very soon. So here we are now at the kind of joining the main queue. It's now stationary, and then I think things are beginning to kind of be sorted out, it seems, into an orderly line, but at the moment we're waiting here.
Ya teman-teman ya, kita sekarang berada dalam antrian untuk ke Queen. Mudah-mudahan ya 8 jam, tapi sementara pagi tadi itu 9 jam, kita lihat ya.
It's interesting to see the crossing of the queues, people walking backwards and forwards, and that's kind of fascinating, basically walking up and down and not advancing very far in terms of distance. Now it is just after 11 in the morning, and the queues are still of course in the park here, getting bigger and bigger as we continue. And I would imagine that it will be at the very least an hour before we actually leave this park. But I will let you know.
Just remember the agenda. Yeah.
Hello there. Okay, we are still in Bermondsey, still to the east. If you know London, still to the east of Tower Bridge, and Tower Bridge is still a long way from Westminster, so it's still a very long way. Before, I think, when we were still in the park, we saw the estimate at the time. Was it midnight or 1 in the morning? And it's 2 o'clock in the afternoon now, so in other words, it's still going to be a very, very long time.
Ya, diperkirakan ya antrian itu selama 14 jam dan kami not even near it. Ya masih baru 5 jam kami berjalan, dan kami akan terus menginformasikan kepada kalian suasananya, dan kamu bisa lihatkan ke sana bagaimana antriannya. Antriannya panjang sekali ya teman-teman.
Very, very long. So still the queue goes on, and it's kind of about 4.5 hours since we started, and we're still winding through far to the east of Tower Bridge. You can see Tower Bridge behind me. And so we still have a very, very long time to go. But I regard it now as a pilgrimage in honour of of the late Queen, and therefore I suppose from that point of view we deserve to suffer a little bit.
You know the picture I showed you of me in that black dress dressed in the 70s?
5.5 hours in the queue so far, and we haven't even reached the place where they give out the hand or the wristbands. But I think we're getting there. I think the policeman before estimated it would be about half an hour to get the wristbands, but we're still a very, very long way from our destination. It's a pilgrimage. And here is Tower Bridge, and that of course for many people is the symbol of London, Tower Bridge, and we're now going under the road, Tower Bridge Road, and very soon I think we'll come to the place where we can collect our wristband, I think. So this is the centre of the City of London, and all the tall buildings. There are two big areas for tall buildings in London, Canary Wharf and here, and this is the older area called the City. It is now a splendid afternoon, and we've got our wristband, which is very, very important. Here it is, the important wristband, which at least allows us to get in there, although it is still hours and hours away. And on the right, across the River Thames, I can see the buildings of the City of London, which I also mentioned before. And as we walk down here, we've not seen it so far, but we'll see the tallest building in Western Europe, which is the Shard. And so it's quite nice, because of course the weather has much improved. Over there I can also see HMS Belfast, which is an old battleship which has been very well restored, and I'll show you that as well. And straight across the river over there we can see the Tower of London. And the building there is the Shard, which is the tallest building in Western Europe. I say Western Europe because there are taller buildings, believe it or not, in both, in Russia, both in Moscow and in St. Petersburg. But in Western Europe, that is the tallest building. It's now just about 4:30. We're walking past HMS Belfast, with the buildings of the City of London across the river, and we've now been in the queue about 6 hours. We hope that things will go a bit more smoothly from now on, because we now have, as I said, our wristband, which is very, very important. Over there is the dome of St. Paul's Cathedral. It's now 5:30, or about 20 to 6. We're still in the queue, and we're probably still closer to where we started than to our destination at Westminster Hall. But we're getting there, and we're still in good spirits. There are many, many crowds all around, and it's quite a lot of, I suppose, camaraderie, and everybody kind of is, I suppose, helpful, and there are lots of stewards. And right across the river, on the other side, you can see the buildings of the City of London, and on this side is Southwark Cathedral. And so that's where we are now, and I'll send another message a little later.
Masih antri.
Yeah. That's right. You don't quite get the enormity of it until you're sort of there on the fly.
It is now about 6:30, and we've been on in the queue now for about 8 hours. Still nowhere near our destination. Over there you can see St Paul's Cathedral, and round here basically more of London and the River Thames. So here is the Globe Theatre, which is a reproduction, apparently a very faithful reproduction of a theatre from Shakespeare's time, and it's right next to the Tate Modern, which was a power station, is now a very good art gallery. And then we look across the river to the other side and we can see St Paul's Cathedral. Well, it is now 9 hours in the queue, and we're at Charing Cross. I can see the trains going over the bridge, Charing Cross station. We're about, I think, to pass the National Theatre very soon, and feeling rather tired, but even so, it's worth it. There are the rays of the setting sun on the buildings of the City of London, and as we come round you can see the magnificent St Paul's Cathedral standing resplendent, the creation of Sir Christopher Wren 500 years ago, after the Great Fire of London. Night is beginning to fall now, and over there it was a beautiful sunset. It is now it's 10 hours. It is now 10 hours into our trip. We started 10 hours ago in the gardens at Southwark, and now we are passing the London Eye, and we've still lots of energy left, hopefully, and we're still determined to see the Queen lying in state in Westminster Hall, and it's very lively here, as it always is in London, I suppose, and so we'll update you later. The carousel. And lots of activity going on. Carousel. Come round, and the queue is beginning to move again. So there is the London Eye, and go around and look at lots of other enormous buildings. So we're now at the London Eye, which you can see behind me somewhere, and then we're in sight now of the Palace of Westminster, in other words Big Ben, and the Houses of Parliament, and hopefully we'll be there before midnight, I hope. It's now about, we're getting on for 9 o'clock in the evening. It's now about 11 hours since we joined the queue, and we're still full of good spirits. Yeah, we've not lost hope yet, and we hope to be there maybe 2 hours. So here we are, the Houses of Parliament at last, and we have to go down to the left here over Lambeth Bridge, not over Westminster Bridge, but over Lambeth Bridge, and there we can cross Lambeth Bridge, and we're not too far away. Well, it's now exactly 12 hours since we joined the queue, 12 hours, and we crossed Lambeth Bridge, and as we came down off the bridge, we thought we'd almost arrived. And then, as we came off the bridge, we saw a sign saying, you still have between 2 and 3 hours still to go. Although we're very close now to the Houses of Parliament and Westminster Hall, but it seems that we still have a long queue. And so, well, as soon as we've finished, eventually, well, we hope to see the Queen, of course, lying in state, and then after that, we can sign off. Yeah, hopefully, but certainly not yet. We still have lots of time left.
Yes, I watch it.
So we're still going round, and it is now about exactly 13 hours since we started on this adventure. But it's amazingly well, very well organised, and also it's pretty hard, but everybody else is doing very well, which is great to see. And there are people much older than I am, and so it's inspiring. And as I say, we've done 13 hours now, and maybe there's hopefully only 1 more hour to go. We have just come out of the chapel, and it was very moving. It was a very good, very disciplined performance, and we're now simply going out into Parliament Square. Want to say a few words, Fina?
Ya, teman-teman ya. Hampir berapa jam kita?
40.
Ya, 14 jam kita mengantri dan melihat spektakuler ya, pengalaman yang tak akan pernah saya lupakan, melihat bagaimana changing guard, dan kami terakhir melihat dan memberi penghormatan terakhir pada ratu kami, Ratu Elizabeth II. So teman-teman semuanya, terima kasih untuk kesetiaan kalian bersama The Adventure and Fina and Team. Sampai jumpa minggu depan, and take care. Bye.